You are listening to Shaun of the South podcast, brought to you by Food City, fresh, local, and full of flavor. From certified Angus beef and locally grown produce to fresh sushi, wings, and Dietz and Watson deli meats, Food City has it all, ready to go. Enjoy curbside pickup, full-service floral, and pharmacies that accept thousands of insurance plans and benefit cards. Earn fuel bucks and save at any Gas and Go fuel center, because nobody does food like Food City. Find your nearest store at foodcity.com. My dogs sleep all day. It's just what they do. Except when they're busy chewing up my 48th pair of reading glasses. Well, they sleep, and they sleep. And amazingly, after a full day of sleeping, they don't feel guilty about it. Not even a little. They don't appear to undergo any self-loathing for laziness. They don't hate themselves for exhibiting careless unproductivity. They don't worry about their inability to carpe the current diem. They just crawl onto the sofa, wag their butts, stretch, and then go outside and go pee on something. We aren't like them. And by we, I mean Homo sapiens, as well as many forms of congresspersons. We aren't carefree enough to sleep all day. In fact, we don't sleep at all. Over 1/2 of Americans are sleep deprived. Did you know that? This statistic continues to rise. Americans already lead the world in consumption of sleep aids and tranquilizers. Even our children aren't sleeping. Approximately 1/3 of American children do not get adequate sleep. Some researchers believe this is due to brain patterns affected by, big surprise, electronic devices. But it's not surprising. The average American child spends approximately 5 hours on electronic devices per day. Before you get a little too judgmental, the average adult spends 8. Still, I can't help but wonder what life would be like if we took a cue from dogs. My dogs certainly don't spend any time on devices. They will, however, occasionally eat one. No, not long ago, my dog Thelma Lou ate one of our house guests' smartwatches, and when the deed was done, we were worried about our dog. Our vet said it was no big deal, and then he said immortal words which I shall never forget for as long as I live. He said, "Think of it like this. This is just another way for your dog to pass the time." You know what else my dogs do? They sit by the door and wait for me when I'm gone. They yearn for my return. My dogs will become bone-crushingly sad whenever they see me get dressed, put on my shoes, and get ready to leave, because they know I'm about to leave the house, exiting their lives forever, going off into that great big world without them. I usually pat their heads and remind them, I'm only just going to the mailbox. But this doesn't seem to help. You know why they miss me? Because my dogs love it when the whole family is together. It's just part of their DNA. They crave togetherness. Dogs are social. They're pack animals. They need to be together. Today, in America, by contrast, only 20% of families even eat supper together. My dogs also love to walk. If they sense we're going for a daily walk, my dogs go completely insane. The average American, by the by, walks slightly more than 1 mile per day, which isn't much, especially when you consider that the average European walks an average of 8 miles per day. Just let that sink in for a second. One researcher says, this is because America isn't being built for walking. Each year there are nearly 8,000 pedestrian deaths because America is not set up for walking. Know what else about dogs? Dogs love food. Their lives revolve around the simple pleasure of eating. You could sum up their entire existence in 3 words. What's for lunch? You know, Americans used to care about food, but today, not so much. The quality of products that we get at the supermarket is so low compared to the food our ancestors used to eat. It comes in packages with fancy graphics and lettering, but it's spiked with chemicals and offerings and topical preservatives that make it about as appetizing as the excrement of a guinea pig. But Americans, they did used to care about food. You know, in Europe, dinner lasts for hours and hours. Used to, American dinners lasted for a long time. Did you know that today the American dinner lasts about 12 minutes? One researcher says, this is probably because we're eating fast food for dinner, which might be why 78% of millennials and 81% of Gen Z admits to not having basic cooking skills. Some of them don't even know how to boil water. Which brings me to my last point. Most of all, dogs offer unconditional acceptance, whether you know how to boil water or not. Unconditional love. They don't care what you know how to do. They don't care what you can and can't do. They don't care if you smell bad. They don't care if you've spent your whole day in your undies. They don't care if you're eating leftovers for the 10th day in a row. Dogs are right here, right now, in this moment, existing now. And they care deeply about just occupying this moment with you, with us. They don't care what our worldviews are. They aren't keeping score of our political leanings. They just want to love us. They just look at us as though we're the most important objects on the planet. It's only too bad that we tend to agree with them.
Well, thanks for listening to Sean of the South. I've been your host today, Sean Dietrich, and it has been a true privilege. To find out anything more about what I do, you can visit SeanDietrich.com, or for those who are not particularly good spellers, you can visit SeanOfTheSouth.com, and there you can find out all sorts of information that you didn't know you didn't need to know about me. And while you're there, I hope you take the time to drop me a line. Tell me what's important to you. Tell me what's going on in your life. I'd like to hear it. And in case anyone hadn't told you today already, I love you. Now go say that to somebody else. Have a great day.